Hello, Year 5. Today, we're going to be using our inquiry skills to learn about the role of Alfred the Great in history and his legacy. So what do you think historical inquiry is? Historical inquiry is where you, students, use the same methods as a professional historian when investigating an aspect of history. Can you remember an example of an historical inquiry that we have completed recently? Sutton Hoo. So the stages of historical inquiry are to look at evidence, which could be pictures or text. As historians, we think of the questions about this evidence, the 5 W's, the who, what, where, why, and when. And we suggest possible answers, and these would be our hypotheses. We also look at additional information, such as images of jewellery, the site pictures, web sources, things like that. We also develop stronger answers supported by the evidence, such as a burialship of a wealthy individual, like the king. So today's inquiry is, does Alfred deserve to be called the Great? Alfred the Great was an important Anglo-Saxon king. He was born in 849 AD and was alive at the time of Viking invasions and settlements. He is the only English monarch to have the title the Great. So for your first task today, I would like you to imagine you are an Anglo-Saxon person living in England. Using all your prior knowledge about life at the time, create a short job description for what you would consider to be a good king. You need to think of the skills and the types of things he, as a king, might introduce in order to be considered great by people. Pause the video and write your short paragraph. We're now going to watch a video. Whilst we watch it, please jot down anything that is said that shows that Alfred was truly the great king.
Excuse me. Yes, you. Did you know that is the statue of Alfred the Great? Ever wondered why he was so great? Well, let's start at the beginning. This is a greatometer to help you keep score. Plus, meet the man himself, Alfred, born in 849 and the youngest of 5 brothers. He was never expected to be king. What do we think now, great or not? Alfred learnt to read after his mother challenged her sons to recite a poem by heart from her favourite book. Excellent, we're on our way to greatness. Despite suffering from illness all his life, he outlived all his brothers and takes the throne in 871. However, he had to immediately defend his throne from Guthrum, a Viking warlord. Alfred flees and hid in the Somerset Levels. So far, Alfred the not so great. But eventually, Alfred regrouped and raised an Anglo-Saxon army that defeated the Vikings at the Battle of Edington. Alfred and Guthrum agreed to peace and to divide up the country. Alfred kept Wessex in the southwest. Guthrum took the Viking lands in the northeast, known as the Danelaw. Over time, Alfred brought the English kingdoms together, and his coins called him the King of the English. However, his defining moment of greatness was when he translated books from Latin, which only a few people could understand, into English so more people could read them, beginning a new age of literacy and knowledge, for which he became known as Alfred the Great. Do we agree that Alfred was great? But not modest. Well, that was great. I greatly appreciate you joining me on this journey. Oh, I think Alfred may want his crown back.
So, your second task today is to consider the impact that Alfred the Great had on the people of England. I'd like you to research the below categories, so all these points here, points 1 to 7. I want you to research them in more detail and record them in the correct categories in the table, so you have reasons for and reasons against. There's some websites down the bottom here, which will be in your packs, that will help you to answer those questions. Pause the video now and complete the table that you'll find in your packs. And then here's your third and final task. I would like you to write down 3 questions you would like to ask Alfred the Great if you could. Pause the video and write down your questions. So, finally, what do you think? Do you think Alfred deserves to be called the Great? We'd love to see what you think and to see your lovely work that you've done today in your topic lesson uploaded onto our Padlet page. Have a great day, Year 5. Bye-bye.